Hey, what's up, guys? Ali here from mysocialyou.com, and welcome back to my channel. Now, we all know that Instagram engagement is dropping this year. Both Instagram and Facebook, they're public companies. They want to make money. They want us to pay for ads, and that's why the organic reach and engagement is going down. But how do you fix that? How do you increase your engagement on Instagram without paying for ads? That's what we're going to cover inside this video today. Before we jump into the 5 tips that I have for you that you can use to fix your Instagram engagement drop, you know what to do. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, and also like this video. All right, now let's jump into this. And there's several things I want to cover, so I'm going to go through this one by one. The first thing is, let's be realistic. The Instagram engagement is dropping, but also there is a lot of competition. There are too many people, too many businesses, too many creators creating amazing content on Instagram. So that means we have to up our game. We have to get better. We have to post quality content. We have to increase the quality of our content on Instagram. And then I want to show you something. So I always do research. And by the way, here's a quick tip or hack that you can use. So when you log into your Instagram, here's one of the accounts that I manage. Go to the Explore page, which is right here at the bottom, the search. And this is when you spend some time looking at this will tell you what's working, because the content that's landing on the Explore page, it's doing really well. So always pay attention to what type of content is doing well in your niche, and then try to replicate that content. So let me show you what I mean by, upping your game. So I found this content by just doing research. This guy, the Chris Do, and his engagement rate on Instagram is off the charts. It's amazing. And here's what he's doing basically. So he's using the carousel post, the carousel content, which means the multiple pictures. Look at that. And his engagement is just amazing. And if you go through this, it's real, authentic engagement. So we have to improve the quality of our content. We have to up our game when it comes to creating content on Instagram. And here is one example. By the way, I'm planning on doing a complete separate video. I'll talk about 3 or 4 different content types. This is just one type that I'm seeing working. There are other types as well. But I will cover in that separate video all the content types that I'm seeing working really well on Instagram this year. All right, so that's our point number 1, or the tactic or tip number 1. We have to admit, or we have to kind of take it upon us to improve the quality of our content on Instagram. And how do you kind of get some ideas? Go to your Explore page, and then, whatever your account type is, fashion, makeup, travel, fitness, in entrepreneurship, you'll see the relevant content here. So spend some time and see what's doing well, and see if you can replicate that for your own business. All right, that was tip number 1. Now let's talk about tip number 2. And tip number 2 is to do with Instagram stories and IGTV. So Instagram is not just about posting content on your feed. You can post content to Instagram stories. You can also post content to your IGTV, and you can also go live. So there are 3 things: stories, IGTV, and then going live on Instagram. Make sure you're using those. So whenever a platform, and I've seen this so many times with Instagram, whenever they launch new features, people who jump on those features first, they always benefit from these features. So let's go back here and let me show you. I'm gonna click here. That's the IGTV icon. When I click there, and see, we are creating content on IGTV. And the reason behind Instagram's IGTV is they want to compete with YouTube. Yes, the long form content. So not enough people are creating IGTV videos. So that's another area. If your engagement is dropping down, that's something not many your competitors are probably not doing it. So if they're not doing it, might as well look into that right now and see how you can leverage it. And here's another tip related to this. If you have content on, let's say, YouTube, you can repurpose that content and use it on IGTV. That's one of the tactics that I am using. So if I go back and let's look at my account, Ali Mirza 2K. So if you go to my IGTV, so a lot of these videos are, and I started using this fairly recently because I saw that the demand or the IGTV, not enough people using it, and I wanted to test it. And that's one of the things that I do with my own account. I test every single thing. And if you scroll down, you'll see like I'm doing different, sometimes I'm using videos, sometimes I'm using graphs, sometimes I'm using the different type of the white background, black background. There's so many tests that I do on my account. So recently I saw not enough people using IGTV, and I have started using it. So that's another, the tip number 2, make sure you use the Instagram stories, Instagram, the IGTV, and also go live on the platform. Do not just rely on posting on your Instagram feed, because that's just like one part of Instagram. All right, now the next point I want to talk about is if you have a community outside of Instagram, drive that community to your Instagram. And example could be, let's say you have a Facebook group, or maybe you have an email list, or maybe you have traffic or community on YouTube or LinkedIn. So give them a reason to come back to your Instagram. And one example, actually, it's really funny and interesting too. For my personal account, for my engagement, I wasn't using Instagram, LinkedIn became my number 1, and then TikTok became the number 1 channel on my list, and then Instagram was like number 2 or number 3 as far as the list of the focus or the priorities for my personal brand. But what's really interesting is when I started growing my brand on TikTok, it automatically, without me asking people, just because I had, if I clicked on, let me do it again. So this is my TikTok account. On TikTok, I have almost 39,000 followers, and I'm pretty consistent there because that's a new platform that's coming up. So as a marketer, a lot of my clients, a lot of businesses that I work with, they want to know how to use TikTok to grow their business. So I'm spending a lot of time testing different strategies and tactics on TikTok. But so see what I've done here. When you click, I have linked my Instagram. When people click here, they're gonna go to my Instagram. So just by linking my TikTok to Instagram, a lot of traffic is moving from my TikTok to Instagram. So that's another, the tactic number 3 was drive traffic from your existing community. So here's another idea. If you have an email list, and let's say you send weekly emails or every other week, make one of those emails about your Instagram. Hey guys, did you know that I'm also active on Instagram? And by the way, if you have not followed me, make sure you do it. And here is the type of content that I produce on Instagram. So tell people consistently. Maybe, you make that a habit and you remind people about your Instagram, and you drive your email list every, once in like 2 months or once in like 3 months, right? So give them a reason, drive traffic from your existing communities outside of your Instagram to your Instagram. So that was our tip number 3. Now, tip number 4 is engagement. And I know it's nothing new, and everyone says engagement is the key, engagement is important, but then, we almost never have time to do engagement, right? Can you relate to that? So here's what I have started doing recently. Engagement really means you have to leave comments and meaningful comments. And you know what I have started doing recently? So what I do is when I leave comments, I actually just leave the voice ooh. Instead of just texting, because that takes a lot of time, right? What I do is I just do the speech to text, and it's so much easier. But what I would suggest is, let's say if you're spending 20 minutes per day on Instagram, the 80% of that time should be engagement. Let me just say that again. Spend 20% of your time posting to Instagram, and then 80% of your time engaging. And those engagements means leaving comments on other people's accounts, engaging with their followers, especially if their followers are similar to what you want to attract. Because automatically people will start following you and engaging with you. That will boost your engagement rate. And then number 2 is, I want to show you this. So I get a lot of messages from So look at this. So here's a perfect example. This person right here, he found me on TikTok, and then he started me. He asked me, send me a DM, and asked me a question. And look at my response. I sent him a voice note, and you can easily do that by just pressing this microphone icon. So engagement is everything. Here's another voice note, and there's just so many. Here's another one. Here's another one. So I just using the speech to text or using the voice memo option or voice notes option inside the DM, it has made engagement so easy for me. Now I've made it a habit, and whenever I have a few minutes in my day, I just go to Instagram and then leave voice messages. So that was our tip number 4, engagement. Make sure you spend 80% of your time. Send people voice notes. Use the voice to text feature to leave comments. And then also, you can also leave people, especially say for new followers or people who send you DMs, you can send them the video messages. That will boost your engagement so much more. All right, so that was our tip number 4. And now let's go to tip number 5. And tip number 5 is, I call it #ABT. Can you guess what that is? Always be tested. So I know there are so many people like myself giving you all these tips and tactics, and sometimes you're like, there's so much, there's information overload. What should I do? So I always tell people, always be testing. Always test stuff for your account. And my account is a perfect example. And sometimes it actually hurts my account, but it helps me understand what's working on the platform right now, so I can advise people. I can make videos like this and tell other people, or I can also, when I work with clients, I would know what's working best, right? In those, based on different changes or different eras of organic, algorithms on Instagram. If you look at my account right now, so right now I'm super heavy on IGT. All these are IGTV videos. But if you scroll down, so here I was using short videos, snippets of myself, my interviews. If you scroll down, you'll see the videos again. Scroll further down, and here you'll see kind of like a one graph, one quote, graphic type of theme. You scroll further down, so here I was testing the black and white color or with graphs. If you scroll further down, so here I was testing all graphs because that's one of my hobbies, and I try to educate people using those simple and silly graphs. If you scroll further down, I'm not sure what happened. It's just moving slow. There you go. So here you go. So now you see like the different themes, the black and white. So always be testing. Whatever advice or tip you get from either from myself or maybe other people, take it and apply it to your page, but then test it. For example, if someone says, hey, you should always be using 30 hashtags, and let's say right now you're only using 5 hashtags, for next 5 posts, use 30 hashtags and see if it works for your business or not. If it does, then you can continue using it. If it doesn't, then you can go back to 5 or do another test. So that's my tip number 5. Always be testing, #ABT. So just do a quick recap. Tip number 1 was, and I actually wrote these down, the post quality. We have to up our game when it comes to creating quality content on Instagram. Then number 2 was use features, the newest features or newer features on Instagram that other people may not be using. So for example, Instagram stories, IGTV, and then going live on Instagram. And tip number 3 was drive traffic from communities that are outside of Instagram. And my example I showed you inside this video, I'm driving traffic from my TikTok to your Instagram. You can drive traffic from Facebook group, your email list, your YouTube channel, your LinkedIn, anywhere outside of Instagram. If you have a community of people that you resonate with, you can drive them to your Instagram. And then our next tip number 4, I believe, was engagement. Use the voice notes, the text to voice feature to leave comments and engage with people, drive them back to your profile, and also don't hesitate to send people the video notes. Ooh, we lost my phone there. But anyways, our last tip was #ABT. Always be testing. Always test what works for you on your account, because it may be different from what's working for me right now. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about Instagram engagement, leave those questions below inside in the comment section, and I will be more than happy to provide my insights. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.